Alright, in this video we're gonna complete the story of empirical formula. Alright, so one of the main questions people usually will ask about the empirical formula is what is the purpose of knowing the empirical formula if we know the actual or the true formula of the compound? Why do we even bother to know, for instance, the empirical formula? The main purpose of empirical formula is actually when people don't know the true molecular formula. So let's look at the relationship between the true formula and the empirical formula first. Okay, so when you have compound that has a actual formula of N2O4, this is the true formula. Okay, and so you can see the empirical formula should be the simplified version of, or the simplest version of this, which will be NO2. So 2 to the 4 ratio can be simplified into 1 to 2 ratio. So this is the true formula. So this is the empirical formula. Now we all know that the molecular weight is directly dependent on or directly determined by the formula. So the molecular weight of N2O4 is going to be 2 nitrogens plus 4 oxygens. Okay, which is going to be about 92.04 grams per mole. We can calculate the molecular weight of NO2. That's going to be 1 of nitrogen and 2 of the oxygen, which is going to be 46.01 O2 gram per mole. So it's not hard to imagine that since in this case the true formula is twice as many the empirical formula, you can see the molecular weight of the true formula over the molecular weight of the empirical formula is going to be 2 to 1. So you can see there's always going to be a whole number ratio between two molecular weight. One is the true molecular weight and one is the empirical formula molecular weight. Now usually when people don't know the true formula but know the empirical formula, and if you can figure out the ratio between these two molecular weight, then you can find out the true formula from the empirical formula. Of course, this number is always going to be a whole number. It could be 2, 3, 4, any whole number. Okay, let's say, for example, okay, we don't know the true formula. All right, we know the empirical formula is, let's say, CH2. Okay. So, but we do know the molecular weight for both. We know the empirical formula of molecular weight, which can be calculated by having 12.01 plus 2.01 times 2. Oh, I'm sorry, 1.01. So 1 of the carbon, 2 of the hydrogens. So you can have 14.03 gram per mole. So this was calculated from CH2. We also know the true molecular weight is about 42.08. So you can see that the ratio between the true molecular weight over the empirical molecular weight is about 3. So this number shows that the true formula is actually going to be 3 times of the empirical formula. Of course, we can write this into C3H6, excuse me. So this is a very convenient way actually finding out the true formula from the empirical formula. Okay. Now, of course, you may ask me, how do you know the molecular weight of true formula without even knowing the actual true formula? There's actually something called, this is not going to be in our test, but I think it's worth mentioning here. There's actually something called a mass spectroscopy, which is a very useful technique, which is usually connected to a computer. Okay. Now, what you usually see is it's a little machine, okay, which can be hooked up with a computer. It doesn't matter, it's a desktop or a laptop. Okay. Now what you're gonna do here is you're gonna use there's usually a hole here and then there's a bunch of a switch. Okay, what you can usually do is use a syringe, inject any unknown chemical into this machine, and this machine will do analysis and shows on what's showing on the full computer is going to be the molecular weight. Now, so this is called mass spectroscopy. Okay, basically, as long as you have a compound, you can obtain the molecular weight without even knowing what's the formula. And then if you can do the analysis, finding out the empirical formula like what you did in the experiment, okay, burn it, and then obtain 2 molecular weight and find the ratio. Okay, and then you can derivatize out the true formula. Alright, so this concludes, well, basically this is a complete story about empirical formula and what's the purpose of doing it. Okay.